And I'm going to switch my name because I don't like to look at that. And am I Nicole's on the call? And then it's me. I'm just going to rename myself. Okay. I'm so excited for today because it's going to look a little different because there's not a lot of people that can get on this call. I had a lot of my own team members reach out to me saying they're not going to be here. So we're probably going to just make this short and sweet if that's okay with you guys. But to start off the call, does anyone have any shout outs? We don't want to miss those. Nobody? Nobody? What about all of the people that have bought their flights to Nashville? Can we just shout ourselves out that we are committed to going? Kate, Kelly, Mary, Becky, I don't know if you guys are going to Nashville, but if you are, flights are looking good on Tuesdays. So get yourself a flight on Tuesday. Okay. I better take that out because I'm afraid it's going to connect to my AirPod. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. All right. So, and Mary says that's good to know about flights. Yes, we've noticed Amanda, me, and Krista have been really trying to focus on flights, and we noticed that they dropped on Tuesday. And I'm happy to put our flight in Nicole's team threads so that you have our flights if you want to fly with us. But we're all flying out of Salt Lake City and we're flying home together back to Salt Lake City. So we're excited. Okay, we're going to get started and we're only going to go, oh, go ahead. Who's talking? No one? You'll mute. Okay. We're going to talk about chapter 1 of the book that we've recommended everyone to read. And I don't know if you guys knew this, but through Amazon, you can hook your Amazon to your Audible and Amazon will credit your Audible for spending so much money. I don't know if you guys knew that. So I got my book and I actually listened to chapter 1 this week and I listened to it again today. Did anyone have the opportunity to read or listen to it? Anybody? Okay. So it's called The Power of One More. And I've actually read this book before and I'm reading it again. And if you haven't, oh, Mary, you've read it? Or are you reading it now? I'm guessing.
I'm reading it right now.
Okay,
I've been listening to it. Yeah.
Yes. So Mary, I might pick on you a little bit if that's okay.
Okay.
And by the way, cute hair. You got it cut or something.
Thanks. Yes. Thanks.
It looks so good. I love it. Okay. So, chapter 1 actually, so it's called The Power of One More. If you haven't, I'm going to show it to you guys what it looks like. I hope you guys can see it. It's that one right there. I have the book, but I actually just bought it on Audible so that I can listen to it while I'm doing the dishes because it really changes my mindset about doing the dishes because I hate doing the dishes. But if you need a good motivational something to put in your ear, that's a really good one to start with. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to only take 10 to 15 minutes each call to talk about this book because a lot of what we do in this business is how we feel about ourselves, which then puts it outwardly of how we feel about the business, others, having quitters, having people turn off their subs, having people not have results. Like it's all mindset. And sometimes we take that no, or we take that turning off that sub or the products that are not working. We take it here, we take it personally. And it's really all about how your mind is to get through those little hurdles. But chapter 1 is all about identity. And he talks about how a lot of our identity starts from our face print or like our blueprint from when we're born. We don't know anything when we're babies, when we're kids. Like I actually thought about my own kids listening to this chapter 1. I was like, oh my gosh, that is so true. Like my kids in their ages now are starting to create what their blueprint looks like and what qualities they have and what personality traits they have and what they think about others, what they think about themselves. And they kind of define themselves to that value or to that worth or to having a new car or to having a new pair of rollerblades or a new bike. Like they set their value to materialistic items in a low generational time in their life. So like, I want you to think about your time in your life when you were 5 or 10 or 15. What did that look like for you? Did you have a good relationship with yourself? Did you find value within yourself? Did you feel worthy? Did you feel a part of something or purpose? And the kids that didn't feel that way later in life struggled with their self-worth, with their self-value, with their business, with all of that. And so it actually made me think about my childhood. Like, did I set my boundaries to the worth of what house I lived in or what car that my mom drove. And you guys, I hate to admit this. And if my mom ever listens to this video, I'm so sorry. I'm saying sorry now. Oh shoot, you guys, am I not recording? I'm recording. My mom used to drive this minivan that was the color of, I want you to think of like a turquoise Barney. So like not the purple, but like a really vibrant turquoise. And she drove this Ford and it was like really old. And when I would see her coming into the school grounds, into the parking lot, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. That's my car. Like I remember having those thoughts, and I actually feel bad having those thoughts now, because later in life, I'm like, man, cars are expensive. And my parents just bought what they could afford. But why did I have this like mindset of like, my value is linked to that car? And I should not have that mindset. And so I remember I would make my mom, like I would purposely walk down farther from the school so that my mom would pick me up. And I wonder at that time, did my mom ever put the two and two together that I was trying to like push my car down farther to get in the car? We're not stupid, right? I'm sure my mom put that two and two together and she just loved me anyways. But I often think that because there are times that I go pick up Avery and Aspen at school, my two girls, and sometimes I roll down the window and I'm like, girls, and I start to like wave and I'm honking, and my like Avery's like, Mom, stop it. Like she's so embarrassed. And it's like we create our own culture of patterns of what we're doing in our life, or materialistic items or things that make us feel or see our own value. And it can take a toll on your life later in life, regardless of what that is for, within your marriage, within your relationships with others, within your success, within your business. And that's something that I'm like, man, do I value my identity from what I learned in this chapter to generational habits? Something that's all I've known. We only get taught by what we are taught as young kids. And then it kind of like blueprints into our brains. And then what do? We do it to our kids as well. And so I actually really like this chapter. If you have not bought the book and have not listened to it, I want you to go and listen to it. He talks about how the power of one more can change your life. And he tells us in this chapter, or in the pre-dialogue, guys, I'm not a reader. Amanda's probably laughing her head off. In an introduction, when he's going over the introduction, which is just as long as a chapter, in my opinion, he says, I'm guilty of being poor. I'm guilty of having marriage issues. I'm guilty of having health issues. I'm guilty of having 10 cents in my bank account. Like I am not exempt from this. But because I have applied the power of one more into my life, it's changed the way I show up in my marriage. It's changed the way I show up in my relationships with others, my business, with success. And so I'm like, okay, what could I do right now as I'm working out, listening to this chapter yet again of power of one more? And that was one more rep, one more push-up, one more pull-up, one more jumping jack. The power of one more can change your motivation and drive to do anything. So that's kind of what I wanted to share. I'm going to have Mary, if she wouldn't mind, just like, Mary, tell me your thoughts about what I just shared and what you learned in chapter 1, and then we'll move on to some business ideas.
Okay. I just listened to it yesterday. And yes, the introduction is just as long as the first chapter, but I am not a reader either. But let's see. So talking about the one more. So he just is talking about the one more in every aspect of our life. So if it's having to have greater health and you're working on a goal about weight loss, it's like the one more rep or the one more. But he's also talks how he compares it to business, the one more client, the one more person to talk to. I also listened to chapter 2, so I'm trying to remember which parts were separate. But I just love what you said, and it's a complete mindset too. It's not when he says you're one more person, when you have a one more mindset, everything can just change. And that I like that you talked about that he's not exempt from any of it. So yeah, I'm not super good at remembering what I read, but it's very good.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Mary, and especially right on the spot. Thank you for sharing that. So if you haven't already, I'm going to go get the book, and then I want you to listen to chapter 1, and then we'll go over a couple of chapters next week. But I'm going to shift gears a little bit into some business coaching and business training over the next little bit. And I want this to be an open discussion. of things that you may have found that work for your business, maybe your routine, because what I have found doing this business for 4 years and running an Emerald team, which I have an amazing team, amazing leaders that are so accountable and consistent. But the one thing that I have learned for myself that I feel like I could do better at, I feel if I don't post enough, or if I don't say I don't have an enrollment and it's, the 23rd of the month, I'm like, why even try? I'm not going to reach my goals for March. Why even try? And I want you to know that I'm not exempt from this because I do this often. I want you to get out of that mindset and be like, oh, it's March 23rd. We're going to do this. This is actually why I hate having a January 1st goal, because people think, oh, if I don't set a goal or start working on my goal for the year or my intentions for the year, and it's January 14th, oh, it's too late. I'll just wait till next year. And I'm trying to get out of that mindset of, oh my gosh, it's March 23rd. How many days of the month do we have left of the month? We still have, how many days, you guys? 7, 8, 9, 8? Like, we have so many days to be intentional for 8 days of the month. And then that's going to set us up for April success. And then if we set up and have a great April month, that's going to set a May worthwhile. So I want you to get in that mindset of, okay, it's March 23rd. I haven't done one post. I haven't gotten one enrollment. I've had 10 subs turn off. You know what? That's okay. It's March 23rd and I have a week to dig in. I have a week to create intentions. I have a week to get one enrollment. That's awesome. That's one more life changed. And that's something that I'm trying to shift here because I am very much guilty of it. I feel like if I'm lazy at the beginning of the month, or I'm just too busy, because we all know that we have so many roles in life that it's just easy to let the rest of the month go. So I'm going to share a story, and I hope this makes sense because it's a system that Utah uses. I don't know for my outside Utahers here, correct me if I'm wrong, but our kids use a system here in the school district called Skyward. Amanda, do you guys use Skyward in California? Kelly, do you guys use Skyward? No? I know Michelle. So it's called Skyward. It is like a home-based portal within our school district that parents and students can access homework from home if they need to. If schools go remote learning, they can hop onto the Skyward, and that's where all of their teachers will upload homework or grades. This is where we schedule parent-teacher conference. This is where grades are posted. So I want you to think of like this big home base for all of these schools throughout Utah that use this system are on Skyward. And a lot of high schools use it, a lot of junior highs, elementary schools. My kids use it. I'm assuming, Krista, I don't know if your kids' schools use Skyward, but it is a very popular system that we use here in Utah. Okay, so I'm not getting churchy at all, but I want to share a lesson that I learned on Sunday from a brethren in my neighborhood who is in the stake presidency with the religion I'm with. And he gets up in this discussion and he starts talking about how he went to parent-teacher conference, which he never does. He says, I usually send my wife. My wife usually takes that role and takes my son, who's 15, to parent-teacher conference. And this time I wanted to go. So I take my son to parent-teacher conference, and we get in front of the teacher, and the teacher's like, okay, so let's pull up your grades through Skyward. And she pulls out her laptop and she's logging in, and he shuts her laptop. And she looks at him and he's like, you don't need to pull up Skyward. And she's like, no, we do. This is where his grades are. And he's like, no, my son knows what his grades are. You don't need to pull up Skyward. She's like, no, I promise. This is such a good system. We can print it out. I can highlight things. And he's like, no, don't pull up Skyward. I don't want you to even log in. He turns to his son and he's like, okay, tell me what your grades are. And his son, who's 15 and a troublemaker, is what he called his son, knew exactly what grade he had in every single one of his classes. And he looks at us, and the point of the lesson was, we don't need a Skyward to know what we're doing in life. We don't need a Skyward to know if we're showing up every day. We don't need a Skyward to know what our grades are in life, right? And it hit me this week that I'm like, I really don't need a back office or a point system to know how I'm doing in Plexus. That doesn't always reflect how I'm doing. Even sitting at 1,500 points, am I doing every day what a 1,500 point person should be doing? Am I intentionally putting in the work with Plexus? Am I intentionally creating my own content, even though we're one Plexus? I think that's wonderful, but sometimes it's your own content that can create the most magic. And then people are going to start using your post. Don't be afraid to create your own content. Am I showing up in the capacity that 15-year-old boy was to get the grades he was getting. And he shared that his grades were not good. So he looked at his son and said, okay, what do you need to do to get better grades? And then the teacher started to talk and he was like, no, my son knows what he needs to do. He needs to start showing up to class every day. He needs to start doing his homework. He needs to start turning in his homework. There's a difference in creating a post, right? And then never posting it. Or there's a difference in saying, I'm going to go live this week and then never doing it. It's the same concept. You know what you have to do to grow. What are you doing to grow? You don't need a Plexus back office to grow. Yes, the help center is incredible. You can go look up pretty much anything in the back office, but you don't need a point system or a PV system to know what you have to do to grow. And if you don't, that's what we're going to learn today on ways to grow. So this is where this open discussion for the next 30 minutes is going to come from. And I don't want you to be shy. I want you to say out loud or even write in the chat, what are things that you do in an everyday basis to grow? And I'm going to share what a week looks like for me so that you guys can learn from me how I've done Emerald team. And I did not get there by myself. I will tell you that now. But what have I done in the last 4 years of doing a business I never thought I would do? I was a hard no to Nicole for 6 months. You guys, Nicole asked me for 6 months to share these products. And I was like, no. In fact, I started getting rude to her. I found out she reached out to my mom behind my back. Now that she's not here, we can talk juicy on her. But like, I remember she reached out to my mom and she was like, hey, do you want to order your White Line account? I'll offer you $20 back. And then my mom messaged me and was like, hey, did you know that there's a $20 coupon with Plexus? And I was like, no, because I was in a White Line. So I texted Nicole and she was like, oh, she's a White Line. So I'm going to offer 20. And I was like, don't ever do that again. Ask her. I was like rude. I was like, don't ever do that again. Don't reach out to my mom. Like my mom doesn't want to take them, blah, 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 like using excuses. And then a month later, I started to share the products. So I want you to know that I was a hard no for 6 years. Amanda here on this team was a hard no for 2 years. You guys, I think it was over 2 years. But she was a hard no. And it wasn't like rudely. She was just like, no, I'm good. Like, I don't need this pink drink. I don't need the products. I don't want the financial offset. I'm good. And then she started sharing. And then if she were in Fast Start season, they got that later and she was already a brand ambassador, she would have been Fast Start Gold. So what have I done in my business in growing an Emerald team of an amazing leadership, which I've seen you all on my team here. I know there's some from Nicole's leg and Katie's leg here, but what are you doing to create and duplicate yourself? I want you to think of yourself as this bad A leader, okay? And you are just going to go to Jewel status. What are you doing in your everyday life to duplicate that? Because you don't ever want to overwhelm a busy young mom or a grandma or a full-time registered nurse or a full-time teacher. You don't want to overwhelm them. And what are you doing to simplify those systems to replicate that for others? Because the last thing that someone's going to say yes to is working 8-hour days. Okay, let's not work harder. Let's work smarter. So I'm going to talk about what I did prior to Project Broadcast. And the reason why is because people that are new are probably not going to be getting Project Broadcast, and that's okay. So we're going to just talk about easy systems until you get up into that point where you do want to get Project Broadcast. Looking back in the 4 years of doing this business, I wish I would have gotten Project Broadcast the day I ranked gold. That is when you have 20 people ordering. That is when people are starting to see the catch the vision of what Plexus can offer financially. And I want to teach my people that, hey, you're going to be busy for a little bit, but then when you're ready, here's a system that I use and love. And I think if I would have done that 4 years ago, my team would be in higher ranks and they would feel more organized. And all of us are learning that together. And that's what I love about this business is it's too late. There's never going to be that saying in this business. Now is the time to grow. So what I did prior to Plexus is I'm going to pull out my 1980s calendar, which as you guys can see, what do I still use even though I have Project Broadcast? I still use my system. I don't set up messages because they're all in Project Broadcast, but I put them on my calendar because I feel, I'm a God girl, I'm a universe girl, that if I write their name down and that I'm seeing their name every single time I open up this little calendar. You guys, this calendar is amazing. It's from Target. It's on Amazon too, but it has month views and then it has day-by-day views. This is only for my family life. I don't use this for any other reason other than, like, as you can see, Melissa was going to host a gut health event. I'll put stuff like that so my family knows, hey, mom's going to be gone that night. So this is more of a family. This is what we're doing. Then I break it down to, okay, who's on the products? But all of these people are programmed into Project Broadcast, but we're not going to go over Project Broadcast today. We're going to go over IPA, which is intentional productivity and action, all in a day setting of what my Plexus day looks like. So when I wake up in the morning, I literally look at my family calendar and I say, okay, this is what we have going on. This is when my kids are eating breakfast and I'm drinking my pink drink. And I'm like, hey, you have soccer, you have dance. And what does mom have for Plexus? And I will turn to my day and I can already see that Heather's in my mind. Oh, Project Broadcast is going out. Oh, Brittany, Reagan, Whitney, Mindy. I'm reading all the names and they're just on my mind. And I'm like, okay. And then I go work out. I don't work out till my kids leave. And when I'm working out, I'm literally manifesting, okay, what were Mindy's goals? How can I help catch vision with products for her today? And my Project Broadcast, granted, in the background is doing the hard work, sending out the messages, but I want to be in tune with really replying with an intention. And if you're not doing Project Broadcast, these names on this calendar would indicate that it's a check-in for them. So if you're new here and you don't have a system, this is how I do my system, is I literally write their name 4 days out from the day they order. And then a week after that, every single week for 12 weeks. So you can see on my calendar, like Michelle is on week 6. I know that in Project Broadcast, but for me here, this would mean to you, okay, this is her 6th week on Plexus. So she's just about 2 weeks into her new order. How is her new order doing? Is she on the right regimen? Is she filling the results? Are you
Now
celebrating
connected
the
to
wins?
staff.week.
Hold on. Sorry. Are you using the systems? So that's what I do. That's like the first thing I do. I don't even open up my phone. I don't open up Project Broadcast. I don't open up social media, even if I know a message is there. Who is guilty here when they see a little number 3 on their messages thread or their Instagram and you're like, oh, I just have to read it. Oh, I just want to read it so bad. Don't read it, guys. Go do your workout. Go on your walk, go to Costco, go do what you need to do so that you can be there intentionally and not think of Amanda's message in the back of your brain that you know that she's messaged you and you have to write her back. You don't want to teach your team that they have to be receptive like that. That is not a way to live your life. Okay. So if you have to mute text messages, mute group threads, it's okay to mute them. You can still be part of them, but you don't have to be receptive and proactive and, replying as soon as you need to. So I go do my workout. I actually get my morning routine. I get my kindergartner off for school. I get my little 20-month-old down for a nap, and then it's Plexus time. And that message from Amanda, who I do have Amanda, who's having diarrhea right now. It's not Amanda Motney on this call, but it's it. And if it is, Amanda, we need to talk about your regimen. But Amanda, who texted me this morning, is having diarrhea. You guys, is that an emergency? And my nurse brain, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to go write her back. I'm just sweating. Like, I got to get her off that BioCleanse. Guys, skipping her BioCleanse or even having one more BioCleanse today, it's not going to change tomorrow. I promise. Okay. It's going to take some time. So in your brain, think, okay, my intentional time on a Monday through Friday, status at 1 p.m. That's when I'm checking and opening up messages and I'm replying. And then guess what? When my kids get home at 2:20, Plexus is closed for a minute. I'm going to be intentional with my kids. I'm going to take care of them, do homework. And then my sweet husband knows every single night I do Plexus again for about 30 to 40 minutes. And the awesome thing about building these duplicatable systems, I don't know if that's a word, is you are teaching your leaders to do the same. So even though I'm in 3-way messages with a lot of my new builders and their people, so I'm going to put Krista and Amanda on the spot for a minute because I'm looking at my team here, and Melissa's been doing this for a lot longer and she's built that confidence over time. But when you have builders putting 3-way messages into your messages, it can feel a little overwhelming. You're like, oh my gosh, so many messages are coming through and it's starting to overwhelm me. And actually, Amanda's really great. She'll warn me. She'll be like, hey, I'm going to blow up your phone for a minute. Don't worry about it. I've got it taken care of. And I literally will see the messages come through. And then at that night, I'll kind of read through them to make sure that Amanda's taking care of that. But that is me teaching Amanda that it's duplicatable. She's answering their needs and she knows and trusts and hopefully knows that I will kind of come into play if she needs me. Or she'll text me privately and say, hey, I need help with this answer. I don't know it yet. Can you help me? That is a duplicatable system to help your team grow. So what are you doing in your own systems to teach other people and other builders to be successful leaders to do the same to their leaders? Because if you're always fishing for them, they're never going to learn how to fish. And I would rather have a team that knows how to fish for their own food than me doing it all the time. Now, granted, that doesn't mean when I have a new builder, they're in my back pocket, they're in my boat with me and we're fishing together. But I'm trying to teach a team that eventually I want to be in a boat next to you with your new builders in your boat. So what are you doing to teach your team to fish? Now, another thing that I use and I utilize every single day, you guys, if you were to go look in my search engine on my Facebook, the first Facebook group that comes up, can you all guess what that group is? Actually, it's the third one down because I've done some research. My first one is Jewels of Excellence. That's just like a Jewels thread that I'm in. My second one, do you guys see what that is? I pull up this group, Sparking Help, probably 40 times a day. Why? Because I'm using systems. I want to teach my team, if you're on my team here, and if there's anything that you can take away from this call, let these systems do the lifting for you. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't create your own content, but don't overthink every post that you make has to be from yourself here. It's already created here. Just go in here and be like, oh, I want to talk about blood sugar balance. So I'm going to search in blood sugar balance. I will get messages on Facebook that they're like, oh my gosh, that post was so good. Can I use it? And I'm like, yeah, it wasn't me, but I just typed in blood sugar balance. And there are so many pictures and graphics, and you can even make your own new graphic if it's outdated with the old branding, but you can do this and then copy and paste literally word for word and post it on your social media. How long does that take? Literally 3 minutes or less. So that is a system that I use every single day when I'm creating posts. It was Siobhan. I think it was Siobhan. Yes, it was Siobhan that shared with us that you can schedule Instagram post. Who knew about that? Because I didn't know that until Siobhan told me that. But if you click on the 3 bars on your Instagram, oh gosh, hold on. If you click on the 3 bars, there's a little tab that says scheduled content. You could literally on Monday of every week, set 40 minutes aside and create 5 posts in an hour and schedule it out for the next 5 days. And then you don't even have to open up that Instagram to post anything till the next Monday. That doesn't mean you don't go in and reply to comments and engage on other people's posts, but that's such an awesome idea to create in your IPA once a week. If you guys didn't know this, but Nicole is at a Jewels of Excellence thread event that I was also invited to, couldn't go this week, but she is coming home with so many brilliant ideas that she is going to bring home to us. Kelly, that's a great question. Really quick, you guys. She asked when the best time to post is. So your Instagram will actually tell you that if you have a business page. If you go to, I might have to go find it because it's been a hot minute since I've looked for it, but it will tell you when you're in your Instagram following, when your engagement's the highest, and it will tell you when. There's also algorithms that you can Google for like the average Instagrammer of when to post, because it is a different time every single day. Like if you think about it, most people are probably more on their phone on a Monday through Thursday night than Friday and Saturday night, because they're probably out doing stuff. So you can Google one, or you can look in your Instagram and it will show you when your followers are more likely to comment or engage on your own.
Can I comment on that?
Yes, go ahead.
Because I can't think of his name, was it Brock Johnson, that convention? He was like, and I'm going to say this in regards that I am not a good consistent poster, but he said, just post it. Just post it whenever you want, because like you can play the algorithms all day and it may work for you and it probably won't. But like, I mean, because I've seen what you're saying, Jess, of like, okay, I'm, more successful at these times. But if it's going between posting it or not posting it when you have time, just post it. And the engagement you put back into it, like the comments, commenting on it, commenting back on people's comments, is going to boost your post more than like the timing of the post. Does that make sense? So if it's between posting or not posting, get it posted, but make sure to engage back with the comments, and that will boost your post.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Amanda. That was actually a really good training from Brock Johnson. If you don't follow him, he's a really good one to follow. I wanted to piggyback on what Amanda said too, because oftentimes we don't post because we're afraid that it's going to get like 4 likes. But what if it's that one post that gets 2.5 million views? Okay, that happened to me. I literally created a reel in like literally 10 seconds or less. And I didn't like edit it or anything. And I just posted and I got 2.5 million views on it. And I gained over 6,000 followers on one post. So don't overthink your posts. Cause I did not post that thinking I was gonna get followers. I was just doing it because I liked that video. So don't overthink it. Don't overthink the time of when you're posting. Amanda's exactly right. Just get it up there. The one recommendation I do want to give is if you are doing scheduled content, sorry, my Instagram's up, but if you are going to do scheduled content, I wouldn't post at the same time every day. So don't do like 9 a.m. every single day. I would do like 9:18 on one day. Then I would do like 2:44 on another day. Do it at a random time. I do that also with my project broadcast. I don't send out a message exactly at 9 a.m. or even a text message. I try to like wait because then it looks like it's like scheduled and there's no thought behind it. So just alter the time on that. Siobhan, did you want to add anything? Because you are the one that shared this with our team.
I did want to add something. Sorry, I was cleaning my kitchen, so I had my camera off. But about scheduled posts, I love them, but don't look at my Instagram. I didn't post at all this week, getting back in it. But if your Instagram is linked to your Facebook, a scheduled post does not automatically post to your Facebook. You do have to go back into Instagram, click on your post, and then do the share to other apps and then select Facebook. So what I was doing is I'll do a scheduled post, and then during that day, like every day I go and I'm like, okay, I'll share to Facebook, share to Facebook, share to Facebook. So just that little step if you want them linked.
Perfect. Thank you. That's actually a good tip that I didn't know. So thank you. And thank you for sharing that with us, Siobhan. One thing I want to add too. So I don't know if this is a rumor or not, and someone might know here. I don't know. Did anyone read that they are shutting down TikTok? Anybody read that? No, just me.
It's
Krista.
being discussed right now in Washington about whether or not. I just listened to talk radio on the way home from the hospital today, and they were talking specifically about this because they were saying this is the first time in history. If you think about it, we're literally the first generation that has a world view and a world connectivity where within seconds of something happening, you can hear about it anywhere and you don't have to be looking at reputable news sites or anything like that. And so then they were talking about how does that impact regimes and things like that. And specifically because TikTok is Chinese based. And so there's a lot of investment there. And now with China and Russia colluding, their whole point of why they're trying to regulate TikTok is because if they are to de-invest or divest funds from the United States in TikTok, then it can affect our economy. So that is really the portion that they're looking at, as well as in China, Japan, all of those areas, their TikTok is limited for kids. Like literally they can only be on TikTok from certain hours for a certain amount of time. They prioritize STEM videos and things like that. So kids in China and Japan are learning things from TikTok. What are we learning? We're learning fancy dance techniques and how to lip sync.
Right.
And so that's the other thing is they were looking at how those things targeting us will, underscore our future. Anyway, that is what they are trying to decide. But that's also why I don't put a whole lot of emphasis on TikTok because it could go away.
So, and I love that you listened to that. And I love that you were in tune with what I'm just going to say this. So for a long time, Instagram influencers that are growing businesses saying that TikTok was where that's where we should go to grow a business. I don't believe that. And I believe that if TikTok gets limited or banned, which I personally think it should, I hate TikTok, you guys, I'm going to say it out loud. I hate TikTok so bad. Instagram is going to be the place of growth. So if you are not growing your Instagram or providing good content on your Instagram, now is the time to start. Don't feel like it's too late. Don't feel like because you haven't been growing an Instagram for years or months or have 1,000 followers, don't feel like it's too late. You guys, my level 1 of 260,000 followers has had 4 enrollments in 2 months. So just please know, it does not matter how many followers you have. It all depends on what attraction you're bringing to your platform. Those are the people that you want to be on your team. Those are the people that you want to help. Those are the people that you want to pour into. Okay. So with TikTok being said, that's kind of where we're going. I also want to hurry and show you guys something on my phone. Just a second. Let me hurry and pull it up. So my friend who is very high up with another MLM, posted this on her Facebook, and I looked it up. It's legit. Have you guys seen the new McDonald's that's coming to America? Have you guys seen it yet? So it looks like a normal McDonald's, right? From the outside. Everybody see that? Just wait. Let me show you what it looks like in the inside. What do you guys notice about that picture? Anybody?
There's like no people,
No people.
no cash registers.
Because guess what? This is a no employee McDonald's. So you walk in or you go through a drive-through, you pay for your food using a kiosk. Then the food is distributed to you, handed out to you, just like that in a bag. Okay, first of all, gag me because that's all processed stuff. But we are going into a world of we don't need employees. And it actually makes me so sad to know that we are shutting opportunity down for employment. But what does that mean for our business? There are going to be so many more dads, moms, grandmas, grandpas looking for an investment into their future of not just for themselves for financial freedom, but for legacy freedom. Because I don't know if you knew this or not, Plexus is a legacy business, meaning when you are done or want to retire or you have passed away, you get to gift or give your business to your offspring, which is freaking incredible to know that what we are doing now can affect futures and generations to come. And that is our children. That is our offspring. That is a family member. Maybe you don't have kids. Maybe that's a niece or a nephew, but it is incredible that Plexus stands behind that. And here we are, Nicole's like sitting in the headquarters or the hotel right now in a business minded that advocate for family. Michelle, I was going to comment on that really quick. I don't have Instagram. Yes, you can use Facebook 100%. That's actually where I grew a lot of my team was through Facebook. And then I had an Instagram about 400 friends. So if you want to do an Instagram, great. If not, Facebook is also a great place. But with what Krista shared today, and then knowing what I've read with TikTok going away, I would not be shocked if it does. It's all going to come down to the ethical part of it. But okay, for the next 10 minutes, I want to hear from you guys. After I've talked to you about what my IPA looks at, what systems I'm using, how I'm using them, I want to hear from you. What right now is working so well for you that you know if you share it right now, it might help someone else. And it can be any kind of action that you take in your everyday business life. What are you doing? And don't be shy.
I will go.
Okay.
I don't know if this will actually help anybody, but I will attest to what Jessica was saying as far as using the sparking posts. I also go in every morning when the BioCleanse hits and you're sitting there scrolling, I will like and save posts, like and save. And then that way I have a whole bunch of saved posts that it's really easy for me to repost back. This month has been crazy busy for me with work. I've picked up a bunch of extra shifts and I have not been consistent with checking my back office, but I have had project broadcasts that I've been consistently following my new people and my existing team. And I have consistently posted on my social media. It might just be a few stories. It might just be a couple of posts from Sparking, but I haven't gained thousands of followers like Jessica with one. But what I have done is I have sparked interest in people that have been watching me for months, that I have been like, oh, I've invited to Gut Health events. I have messaged, I have talked to them. And just being consistent, even in a busy season, just being consistent for 10 minutes on my social media has sparked interest with people, has shown them that I am still on the products, that I am still consistently here, my store is still open, and doing that. And it hasn't taken more than a few minutes of reposting something that I saved 3 days ago while I was pooping.
And you guys, she can't do her job while she's pooping. I know what she does for her job. There's no way she could see a hospice patient while on the potty. Okay. So like, just know that like what we have is really awesome because you can do it from anywhere. One thing I want to share with everyone that's here, and if you're new, this is something that I think would benefit your business a lot. So if you click on the Sparking Plexus group, which is that one right there. Okay. Well, I'm at the Sparking. I actually don't invite people by using this system anymore. I send them the link And then I can see who's coming into the group. And you could actually send out the link to everybody on your team right now that are already on the products. And you also can send out that same link to any of your prospects. You can literally send them the link and say, hey, I really think you would benefit from these products. And this group is amazing. It has all the nitty gritty. It has the science. It has testimonials. And guess what? I'm in that group too. So if you have any questions, I'm going to be there to help you. And I also want to tag you in a story that makes me think of you. That is a way to follow up with someone without being pushy, without being salesy, because guess what? There's going to be a story about celiac disease and I'm in there. And if you know someone with celiac disease, you can go tag me with my story. So if you click on, I think it's that one. Yeah. If you click on the little button here, it's a little star with like the badge, and you scroll all the way to the bottom, there is a button called Share Group. You're going to push that button and then you'll just push copy link. And then you can literally send that to everybody that's already on the products, and you're already giving them an opportunity to walk into your business, to walk into your restaurant. That is like the doorway to exposure, because it takes the average. Nicole and I did the study, and she actually did a recent study. It used to be like 7 to 11 times of exposure before someone buys something. It's like almost 20 times now to see that. You guys, I've had a swimming suit in a shopping cart knowing that I want it because I'm going to Hawaii next month. And I'm like, I know I want it, but it's still sitting in the cart. And I've gone back to that website probably 10 times. So I want you to get used to exposing yourself in obviously a modest way of sharing what you do and love. And then they can join the group that way. In Project Broadcast, I want you to show you something. This is for my Project Broadcast users. If it's not, this is something that you can learn down the road. I actually, in my tags or in my, what are those called? Templates. It is in there as Sparking Plexus link. Which one is it? That one. And I literally just sent out that to everybody with a message that said, hey, this is an awesome group. I know you haven't been on the products in 8 months, but there's been a new product that has launched since you last did the products. And I think this would be something that you would really love. Can you join? And then let me know when you join. And the nice thing is Nicole and I are admins in that group. A lot of people are going to start becoming admins because we are trying to create this group for leadership to level up, meaning you'll be doing posts in there. You'll be doing more live videos. We had a bunch of leaders go live last week, and we're trying to give that opportunity to all of you, because the only way you're going to grow here is here. By you showing up, by you leveling up, by you doing the scary things, doing the lives, answering questions in that group. You guys, that did not come naturally for me. I was asked to speak at an expo 4 years ago with Nicole side by side, and I literally stood behind her like a puppy because I was so dang scared. I knew nothing about the products. I didn't want to speak in public. I was sweating head to toe. And here I am. Yes, I still get nervous, but the more you do it, the more you take away your identity of what we learned in chapter 1 today. And again, if you have not read that chapter, go read it, because we learn about our identity and how we show our self-confidence and our self-worth and our self-purpose by how we were raised, by what we were only exposed to. And now I want you to expose yourself to things you've never done before. So Nicole, are you talking? Oh, sorry. I didn't know if you were talking.
No, do you want me to?
Oh no, you just looked like you were about to say something and I didn't want to.
I was just going to say, it's funny because when we talked at that not convention, what was that? It wasn't a convention.
Expo.
It was a expo. When we talked at that, we were beginners. I was a senior gold and you were a gold, I think. And I love that she's like, I was pushing Nicole to the front, and she was like, you're my sponsor, you go. And I'm sitting there sweating. Like I felt like I was having like an adrenal crash after that, because I was literally so like anxious about it that like afterwards I was just like, oh my gosh, like I feel fatigued because of how scary it was for me. And it's so interesting because I know that some of you look at me and think like it looks easy for her, or they look at Jess or whoever it is that you're like, gosh, she makes it look so easy. And I want you to know that it wasn't always easy for us. And I am sitting here at Jewels of Excellence, you guys. First off, work your butt off to get here, because the training was the best training I've ever been to. And I'm sitting here looking at these diamonds and double diamonds, and one of the diamonds has 17 diamonds below her, and I'm listening to them train us. And I'm thinking, gosh, she makes it look so easy. Maybe I can't do that. And I know some of you guys think that about us or other people, like, well, it's just easy for her. Maybe I can't get there. And I just want to remind you that you can, because everything is figure outable and skills are developed over time from doing scary things like sweating and like feeling anxiety talking at an expo because you don't know how to speak because you've never done it before and you're scared. So when we're asking you guys to come on here and lead like book club, for example, this is a perfect opportunity for you to do something scary in a safe place. This is a no judgment zone. This is a place where you're safe to mess up, to fail forward, to look silly, and none of us will judge you because we are all trying to learn and do the same. So I just want you to know that, like, our team thread, no judgment zone. This is a place where it's safe for you to learn and grow. And if you fall down, no one's going to laugh at you. They're going to be like, I'm so proud of you because when I see you fall down and get back up, I know that I can fall down and get back up. And I want you guys to feel that energy. I want you guys to be more willing to fail in front of us and in front of other people, because I truthfully believe that being scared to fail and look silly and mess up and say it wrong and not know what you're doing is what is holding most of you back from taking massive action in your business. And then the other thing that I want to add, sorry, I kind of took over, but I don't think I can talk very long because I do have to go catch a flight here soon. But I want to start running a few things a little bit differently. And I briefly text Jess about this today. I was like sending her screenshots of stuff and I'm like, we've got to do this, but I want to help you guys rank up. Please tell me, drop a 1 in the comments or send a message to me privately. Do you want to stay where you're at? Or do you want to rank up? Because I am here not for you to do what I want you to do. I'm here to support what you want to do. Some of you might not ever want to be a diamond. Some of you might want to be a gold or a senior gold, and that's fine. I want my team members not to think that they're working towards my goal. I want you to know that I'm here to help you work towards your goal and that this is a safe place for you to speak up and to say that. And so my job as a coach is to constantly be learning and growing. And so when you look at me and Jess or whoever else on our team that you look up to, I want you to know that we want to help you grow, but that we are also learning and developing ourselves along the way, that we don't have it all figured out. So give us grace when we mess up or when we fall short. And there was a lot of discussion here at Jewels of Excellence about, expectations of leaders or things that people, get offended by, or, this is a belly to belly business. This is a community where we are doing things together. And so we want this to be a safe place where there's not judgment, but that we can also give positive and critical feedback of like, do you really want to know how you can get better? And I'm going to start asking you questions like, do you really want me to tell you what I think you could improve on? Because sometimes we aren't open to what other people see, right? Sometimes we're not ready for that growth. But I want you to know that I will always do my best to tell you what is true, right? What I see you could improve on. And so if I ever ask you that question and you're like, no, I'm not open to that right now, then I'll just say, no, I'm not open to it. That's fine. But I want to get better as a coach for you so that I can help you hit your goal. I saw tons of people saying, I want to rank up. I want to rank up. And I think the number one thing as a leader that's hard for me is when I'm not seeing you guys rank up, because then what I do is I go, well, what could I do better as a leader? But if I have learned anything here, every single diamond leader here that I've talked to has said, you cannot motivate people. They have to motivate themselves and they have to take action for themselves. And so I really want this to be a thread where we go, okay, let's really buckle down on what it takes to rank. And so in the comments, do you feel like you know what it takes for you to get to your next rank? Yes or no? Because a lot of times there's confusion on that. A lot of times it's like, yeah, no, actually, I don't really know what to do. I don't really know what that will take. Maybe if you're early on, see, a lot of you are actually saying, yes, you know. Okay, so And if the answer is no, no judgment. If you know what it takes to get to your next rank, what is holding you back? I love it. Yes and no, right? We kind of know, we kind of don't. If you know what you think it takes to get to your next rank, what do you think is holding you back? You can drop it in the comments. Maybe you just write it down and you think about it. But there's a reason why you're not moving. I hold myself back, myself and those dang kids. Is it really the kids? Fear and limiting beliefs, fear of people's judgment. Totally. So what I want to do as a coach, and I'm sorry, Jess, I'll let you finish because I hope I didn't completely take over. I want to help you do the things that will really move the needle in your business, because we were talking about how like that was rank up months, me and another Emerald, like the month that we were ranking, and that team unity. Do you guys know what I mean when we're like, when someone's working towards a goal and you're not even the one ranking up, but you're just like that team unity of us all working together, and the magic that we all feel, and the love and the community and the commitment. Isn't that a beautiful feeling? When you think about ranking up, I want you to, what feeling do you have when I just explained that? You guys drop the feeling that you had when I explained, you know that feeling? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I need to turn this so I can see your faces. Do you know when, even when someone else is ranking up and we are all in it to freaking together? Empowerment. How do you feel? Does it feel good? Is it exciting? It feels so good, Michelle. It's so exciting, right? Yeah. So when you think about you ranking up, that's the feeling that I want you to hold as you rank up. Because I know for me, when I think about ranking up, when you think about yourself ranking up now, what do you feel? When you think about Amanda, when you think about hitting Ruby, what feeling comes to mind? Mary, when you think about hitting gold, what feeling comes to mind right now? Is it empowerment? Is it exciting? Does it feel good? Or is it like scared, fear, uncertainty? Ooh, I don't know if I can do that.
Nicole, can I comment? Sorry.
Yeah,
I've talked
yeah,
a
I
couple
want.
times. Because kind of, I know you missed the first part of Jessica's thing today, but I love, because I think that's what I love about you and Jess as leaders, is that I know like when I'm ready to go all in, you guys are there and you guys are the most supportive and will do anything. But back to like your comment, Jess, with the dad and the son, like I know what I need to do. I just don't do it. And I don't know why, because I do have that fear of just, and like being accepted into that world. Like I get in my own head. And so a lot of times, like, and this is the one reason I don't read self-help, I'll just put it out there, is because I don't like being told what I'm not doing. I already know what I'm not doing. I don't want to read about it. And so like the boy, I know what I have to do. I know I'm very inconsistent on posting. You know, and but then the idea, like after that, you're like, Ruby, oh my gosh, like I could like bring myself to tears right now thinking of me ever being a Ruby, because that's like I get like my heart's racing. It just sounds so cool. And like, okay, then you light the fire again. And I think that's what you and Jess are so good at, is like keeping that fire lit in us, because we all, for the most part, probably know what we need to do or should be doing to grow the business. So more just shout out to you guys for being those leaders that support us whenever, wherever we're at, because I've been at all the levels, wherever we're at, you guys are really good at supporting and teaching us along the way. And it's just like you were saying, it's to myself to motivate me to get to that Ruby, because it's not going to be Jessica that gets me there. It's going to be me. She'll help me and you will help me. I know that. but I have to motivate myself. And that's kind of where I am right now. Like really the lack of motivation and like the scarcity in it is where I'm like holding myself back. That's all.
Well, Amanda, I love that you just shared that, because the part of the story you guys don't know yet that I have not shared is this dad then proceeds to say, my son looking at that Skyward account and seeing his grades is only going to mess with his head here. Like, oh, I have a C in math. Oh, I'm flunking English. Oh, I have so many sloughs like here. Like seeing his Skyward account is only going to mess with him here. So the only thing that's going to help him progress and help him get better grades is taking action. And I love that you said that, because all of you guys know what you have to do. You don't have to look at your back office to see those subs turning off, to see the points falling, to see even points growing. You don't have to log in to see that. Yes, it's a great resource. I don't want to refrain from you guys logging in, but here by looking at that is only going to tell yourself, oh, I can't do this. Another sub went off. Oh my gosh, I have an F in the Plexus world. I cannot do this. Start taking action, because that's what's going to show the grade improvements. That's what's going to show the points. The points are going to start catching up to your actions. And I know each of you are capable of ranking up with the help of Nicole and I here to support you. But when I look back at my Emerald ranking journey, it wasn't me reaching for Nicole. It was me reaching down. It was me helping my team. It was me duplicating system. It was me putting in IPA. It was me. Nicole couldn't do my IPA for me. Nicole couldn't post for me. Nicole couldn't go live for me. Yes, Nicole helped a lot of my journey. And that's what Nicole and I are trying to duplicate right now, is to help you guys do that same thing. But ultimately, it's not the Skyward account that's going to help you get there. It's you here. So Nicole, thank you for sharing all that. I hope that you guys, I know we're just to a couple minutes, but I don't know if you wanted to add anything, or are you good, Nicole?
I just want you to know that I want to be a better leader for you guys. And like being here this trip has shown me a lot of my strengths, but also my weaknesses and things that I can improve on. So I never want you guys to ever think that like I think that I'm perfect. I know I'm not. I know there's always room for growth. I don't care whether you are a triple diamond, you have room for growth. So I'm always seeking that growth on my own. And I really, really want to empower you guys to step up as your own leaders and to contribute more in these threads. And one thing that I want to start doing is one-on-one coaching. And so I'm going to drop some stuff in my team thread today and Jess's team thread. And I'm going to give you an action step. And once you've completed that action step, you can then come to us and say, I'm ready for my one-on-one coaching. You have to complete the action steps first to get the one-on-one with us. And then we are going to start doing the nuts and bolts of how to get you to your next rank. So if you're ready to rank up, we want to support you. Okay. So, and if you're not under Jess, like Liska, Mary, you guys aren't under Jess, then you'll be working more directly with me and Katie. So anyways, that's all from me. I just wanted to hop on. I wasn't going to, because it was like everyone was talking, and then I'm like, I need to step aside and just like check in with you guys, because I want you to know how much I love you. And so you guys are so important to me. So love you guys. Thank you for letting me like interrupt and pop in.
Thanks, Nicole. I appreciate all your input. And the one thing I want to add on before we end this call, the reason for this one-on-one coaching that I've received from Nicole is like, it's one thing for me to force a one-on-one coaching or a mapping out call with any one of you. Like say me and Nicole go to Melissa and we're like, hey, you're doing this call. You're going to map yourself out. I am not setting Melissa up to have that be her own decision. So by taking those action steps that Nicole is going to share, and I think it's brilliant and it's duplicatable for any of your team, shows to your leadership and to your sponsors that you are ready for growth and you're willing to do hard things. You're willing to do different challenges or different things outside your comfort zone. And that shows to me, Nicole, oh my gosh, you're ready to roll. You're ready to go. So that is what I wanted to add. I wanted to hurry in. Liska, did you want to share something? I wasn't sure. I know I saw your hand go up and then I saw it down. So I wanted to make sure you had that opportunity if you wanted to share something.
Oh, am I unmuted?
Yes, you're good.
Okay. I had thoughts come and then I had thoughts go. I always get like that nervous. It's like that spirit. I don't know, like if any of you go to church and you want to go bear your testimony.
I get it.
Like, feel that spirit, like that burning. You're like, oh, I want to share. And then you forget what you're going to say. I feel like some of my takeaways though from all this that I really enjoyed, like, first of all, I appreciate you guys as leaders because I can't do this without you guys and my sister, who's on this team as well. Like all of you guys' support, you guys are amazing. But some of the things that I've been trying to do, I guess to build my business, because I am a busy mom like everyone else. And I guess just trying to like show up consistently. It doesn't matter what time of day. I feel like for me, mostly in the mornings when I get my daughter off to school and I, take my pink drink. I've been trying really hard this week to make a reel every day. I don't know. I think Nicole probably sees it. Caitlin does. But like making a reel every day of me making my drink and what that looks like for me. And then I share that as a reel and then I share it to my story or whatever. And I think that's been helping because it shows my face to my friends. It shows that I'm consistent and showing up for myself and like that I'm real. And then it's not someone else. And I think that's been really helpful for people to like relate with and be like, oh, maybe I can do that too. Or, oh, that's what it looks like. So I don't know if that makes sense, but I guess just bringing it back to yourself and showing and sharing your story and the consistency with that.
No, I love that.
So yeah.
That's awesome. And I actually relate with you a lot on that. Because a lot of people be like, oh, I don't have time to mix up my pink drink. Like I don't have time to take supplements. And you're like, I literally just made a reel of how long it takes to make a pink drink.
Like 20 seconds.
Yeah. So I love that you're relating. Yes. You're relating with your team and your people and your prospects. So thank you for sharing that. And I love that you spoke up. If we ever miss you, because I know sometimes not everyone sees the hand, like just unmute yourself and start talking. So thank you so much for your input. Okay, guys, that is it from us today. Watch for those challenge steps that we're going to do to set up some one-on-one coaching and mapping out and getting you ready for your next drink. So I love you all and I hope you all have a great day.